particularly you'll have your own AI, your own personal AI, and it will go off and negotiate with other AI agents to accomplish tasks that you need, whether it is paying a bill or whatever the case may be.
Well, thank you so much for joining me here today.
It's my pleasure.
I know that you've been writing a lot about banking, right? But you also talk about data and like AGI.
Yeah.
And as a university lecturer, I need to guide the students. How do they stay relevant in the next 10 years for the future employment? And I'm not sure whether we will still have a job or we will all need universal basic income. So
yeah. I mean, this is an interesting question, right? With AGI, how's it going to impact employment? And it's not going to happen all at the same time. It's going to happen at different rates around the world. For example, in the United States, you have a lot of protectionism of traditional industries, and so they will want to use AI to enhance profitability of their business and eliminate humans where they can. But structurally, you're not going to have as many changes. So, for example, in the healthcare industry. They're going to try and use AI to enhance profits, not disrupt their existing companies. But in China, for example, you may have a complete reinvention of the healthcare sector where we don't think of the healthcare sector operating the way it does today, and a rapid change in terms of the way employment works in that industry. So it depends on where you are and how these changes will be embraced from a competitive perspective. But for individuals, I think the key element is that the only way you get to keep a job in this future is by adapting and embracing these technologies in the workplace and in your career and in your business that you want to start. So this is really a key element. But you raised the question about if we're not going to have jobs. Well, I talk about this in my book, The Rise of Technosocialism. I say in 2050, if I meet you at an event like this, and I say, what do you do? Your answer to that question is not going to be your job that gets you paid, right? It'll be your job that you're passionate about, because your living costs, your roof over your head, the food that you eat, the clothes that you have, the medical support you get, healthcare, all of that is just going to be part of a highly autonomous economy that is provided to citizens to give them the best quality of life. From an economics perspective, that's why we're incorporating artificial intelligence, to give the human species better experiences and a better quality of life and longer life as well. And so, if you look historically over the last, thousands of years, work, in the way we think of it today, is not a common part of society. People used to spend most of their time on hunting, gathering food and and surviving, the core human experience elements rather than work. Work, as we think of it today, is very much an industrial revolution concept. So AI is going to change the role of work in society once again, particularly.
So for me personally, I feel like humans are not very good at delegating tasks.
Yes.
Like the bosses don't even delegate tasks to their subordinates. So how do you think they will delegate tasks to AI in terms of decision making?
Well, I think you're going to have a very clear mandate from the market that your decision-making process is going to have to speed up. And where decisions can be made by agents, AI-based agents, then you're going to face massive economic penalties if you're not using agents. So it's going to be very hard for managers who don't delegate to AI or don't incorporate AI to continue to keep their jobs, because at some point it's going to be saying, well, you're holding up this progress, you're holding up the development of this business because you can't delegate to artificial intelligence. So this is why I say it's not about man versus machine right now. That we may think about that in the 2030s, but for now it's man plus machine versus man without machine. This is really the economic posture. So I think, if you have trouble delegating or you have trouble working with others, AI could be both a huge benefit to you, because you don't have to work with humans, you can just get the AI to do it. But at the same time, it could be a huge challenge if you don't trust the AI to help you.
Talk about responsibilities, because we need somebody to be in charge, right? Sometimes I go to the teller, to the bank branches, even though I can do mobile banking, because I want them to be like taking responsibility on the transactions that I've done. If it's like complicated, for example, related to tax or something. So I'm not sure whether humans are going to be able to trust AI in terms of like no one is in charge of this transaction.
Sure. So let me tell you how I think it's going to go. So, for example, as I was talking about in the presentation earlier, why do you go to a doctor today? For advice on your health or if you're sick? Because the doctor knows more about the topic than you do, and so he can give you the right advice. What we're going to learn very quickly over the next few years, within the next 5 years certainly, is if you want the best medical advice, you'll go to a doctor that uses artificial intelligence, right? Because the doctor will run the AI algorithm and he'll say, this and this is wrong, and then we need to do this is the best strategy. Oh, and we can design a medicine for you personally based on your DNA, right? Or something like that. And so very quickly, we're going to learn that a doctor that uses AI is much better at diagnosing my problems than a doctor that doesn't use AI. So that's the first step. The second step is then realizing we don't need the doctor at all. The AI is actually the one that's doing the diagnosis and is better at giving the advice than the doctor. That's why the trajectory of change, or that vector of change, has happened. So this is going to be the second part of advice, is where we trust AI better than we trust humans. And so if you end up going to a human to complain about something, most likely it will be, why aren't you using AI? Because I can't trust you to fix this problem, and AI would have already fixed this problem. So that level of personalization also from AI-based agents, particularly you'll have your own AI, your own personal AI, and it will go off and negotiate with other AI agents to accomplish tasks that you need, whether it is paying a bill or whatever the case may be. In the future, I'm not going to go into a mobile banking app and send you money, right? If I owe you, say, 1,000 baht, I'm just going to say to my AI, send my friend some money, And we are just going to trust that will happen, because the trust shifts from being based on the best advice in the future, because advice based on AI will be very common, to the best utility, right? So if you have to see a human to get something done, your realization or your frustration will be that that is a much slower process than in an AI-based system, right? Why can't you just use AI to get this done and fix my problem? So it changes the way we think about these problems and the way we think about advice in context in the future.
I think it's about information, it's about expertise that you are mentioning. But I feel like if we want somebody to be responsible for this answer, for example, claiming tax back, I want somebody who is an authority person in the tax bureau to confirm this transaction, to confirm this decision, instead of like knowing for sure that this is correct, but no one is taking responsibility for it.
Sure. No, look, I think in this transition process, I think there's going to have to be people who can explain why the AI has made a certain decision and so forth. But on the tax side, do you want to pay more tax or less tax?
Less tax.
Then we need AI. Right? Because the only way to reduce the tax burden for you is creating greater automation and eliminating humans out of that process. So the more humans you have involved in the tax decision process, the more costly the tax will be. So ultimately, if you want a better quality of life, if you want to live longer, you want to have better health, you want to have better living conditions, you want to pay less tax, all of those things, you're going to have to be prepared to use AI. And the more we keep humans involved in the system, the more the cost of those humans in comparison to AI will balloon. So that's the major issue for what you talk about, is that if I want to see a human, because I hold the human responsible for those decisions, when AIs could be smarter than humans in this chain, then the key problem you're going to face is you're going to have to pay a high premium to be able to speak to a human versus having a machine do it. So you will have that option for going to speak to a human, but you're going to have to pay a lot of money for having a human advice over AI.
Is it similar to like buying automotives, like buying cars that is handmade, like Rolls Royce or something like that, comparing to Tesla that is like mass produced?
I mean, I think that's a fair comparison, but at the same time, you know, you're going to have the automated cars are going to be much, much better than the Rolls-Royce hand-built cars, right? But if you want a hand-built, personally crafted, artisan experience that's different from the machine-based experience, you'll be able to choose that at a premium. So for example, you can go to a restaurant and it can be completely automated, right? Where you order your meal through the app, or you tell your AI what you want to eat, and the agent goes, your meal is cooked by a AI
Robot
chef.
arm.
The robot's delivered to your table, and that's it. You'll pay a very small amount for a very nice meal, right? But if you want to go with a human chef, Michelin star, well, you can have Michelin star AI kitchens. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, you won't have to have it won't be just humans that have Michelin stars. Robots will have Michelin stars too. But when you want to go for the experience, you want to take your time. It's not about efficiency. It's about creativity, and it's about the human experience and having the service of a chef and human staff wait on you and support you. If you want that experience, yes, you'll be able to have it. You'll just have to pay a lot more in the future for the human-led experience. But this is really where, if you look at the future of the economy, you're really going to have all of the jobs that can be automated will be automated. So what is left is the human experience. It's meaning and passion-based projects. You know, things like fixing the world to navigate the climate change disaster and so forth. Or how do we deal with the eco-refugees that are displaced by climate? So, you know, in the 2050s, we're talking about 1 billion plus eco-refugees that will be displaced by extreme weather conditions. How do we build housing for them and support them in these initiatives? This is going to require massive consensus and coordination around the world, and automation won't necessarily be able to fix that problem rapidly. So there are places for humans to still differentiate against machines, but not in doing work the way we think of it today.
Okay, so not doing work to earn a living, but doing work to
make the world a better
meaning.
place. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you talk about four roles for human, like statutory roles and passion and meaning.
Yep. Human experience. And care of humans.
Care of humans. Can you elaborate more on that?
So this actually comes from a futurist out of the UK. His name is Dave Shapiro, and he talks about, as we go in the post-labor economy, where you're not working to live because of automation, what will work be about? And it'll be about meaning, right? So you'll have obviously some regulatory, statutory type, infrastructure type roles that are in place to make sure society runs in an orderly fashion.
Like Prime Minister?
Well, more like teams that run the AI that manage government, right? So for example, if you think about Bangkok, where we are today, what will the government look like in 30 or 40 years' time? Well, most of Bangkok will be automated. So the transportation systems will be automated. The healthcare system will be largely automated. There'll be some humans still involved, but the diagnostics and the application of medicine, all of this will be highly automated. Factories will be all robotics. Shipping will be robotic. The food, when it gets put on the grocery shelves, will be robotic. In fact, groceries will be delivered by robots. So all of that infrastructure, energy systems will be managed by artificial intelligence, right? Sanitation systems will be run by AI. Recycling of materials will be run by automated systems. So where are the humans left in this highly automated system? Not doing things like delivering your pizza or driving your tuk-tuk or your taxi, right? Because this will be
drone
automated,
delivery.
right? So then what do we do? Well, we're not producing economic value in the way we think of it today. We're producing human value, right? So we're producing value for the human experience. We're helping people live longer, better quality lives, and we're fixing the biggest problems that we have on the planet. So sustainability, climate mitigation, climate resilience, these are the things, dealing with eco-refugees, food scarcity, job losses, the stress of losing your job and losing your career to AI. All of these things is where humans are still going to have to be involved, but not in the way we think of it in terms of production type stuff today.
Okay, so we are not going to focus on working in order to create efficiency because AI will do that for us. And even coding, like AI will code for us as well.
No, you'll have code architects, and initially at least, but in the future you'll just give an AI a problem and say, listen, I need to fix this problem. Produce the code base or produce the technology to do that, and the AI will tell you where it needs your involvement to make that happen.
So if you can talk to students who are in high school today, what should they study?
So I think if you're listening to this right now and you're in high school and you're thinking about your future career, I think the simplest way to answer is this: you need to be involved with AI at some level of your career, because AI is going to be involved in every industry and every job that moves forward. But the other thing is, just embrace the opportunity of learning, because over your life, unlike my career when I started, where I've changed my career multiple times, but you're going to have the opportunity to do so many different things, learn new skills very quickly. Embrace that opportunity. Embrace the fact that you can learn new careers over and over again in this highly technologized world. So that's really the opportunity, but embrace that adaptability and change is part of our nature of humanity in the augmented age or the AI age.
So can you give us 3 essential skills that they need to develop if they have to prioritize?
Sure. Number 1, which is a pretty obvious one, use AI as much as you can in your day-to-day life so you can learn about where it will apply, and do lots of reading or watching YouTube, however you consume information, to understand how AI is impacting various systems. Number 2, find something that you're passionate about, a problem that the world has that we can't fix today because we don't have the technological or economic tools to do that, because in the future we'll have the opportunity to make those big, audacious changes in the world. So be passionate about something that is going to make the world a better place. And number 3, focus on lifestyle. Right, is how do you enhance the human experience and human lifestyle? And that's from everything from encouraging digital natives to come into Thailand because it's a great place to live. We have amazing food, amazing beaches, great airport transportation hub, great facilities for people coming in. This is an area, example, where lifestyle is going to differentiate for people's careers and human experiences. And then think about how you can help other humans transition through this. So what support will people need when they lose their job to AI? And how can you build those mechanisms around the human experience that give people a better quality of life and, again, tie back to purpose?
Thank you so much for this session, and I hope everyone learns a lot from this. So thank you, Brett King. And if you want to learn more about Brett King, where can they follow you?
Kapom, you come to brettking.com, or you can check me out on LinkedIn, or you can check out my various businesses. I run the world's #1 Futurist podcast in the world. It's called The Futurists. So you can go to thefuturist.com and check out our content on futurism. Or if you're interested in some of my other stuff, just go to Amazon and look at my books there.
Yeah, thank you so much. And please hit like and subscribe below so that you can follow.
Give us a like, give us a thumbs up.
Yeah, give us a thumbs up to encourage us to produce more quality content like this. See you in the next episode. Bye.